What's up, y'all? Back with another episode of the Mure Mind. In today's podcast, we'll be talking about disconnection from reality, disassociation and self-perception, dealing with heartbreak, college, and overwhelming emotional responsibilities in toxic households. Okay, first let's start with disconnect of reality. Now, the first time I've ever experienced a disconnect from reality, I want to say was my first time ever taking psychedelics. If you don't know what psychedelics are, they're essentially hallucinogens. Like they can be taken as LSD, acid, magic mushrooms, whatever when you want to take. But they distort reality and allow you to, I guess, lift up the veil or just kind of see deeper into certain meanings of something that you could just be looking at and not know what the fuck it's talking about. But basically, what disconnected reality is kind of you feel like you're not you. You feel like you are trapped with it, like behind your eyes, and that you're just stuck in a vessel that you can control, but it's not really like you. You feel me? Imagine driving in a car. You are driving that car, but you are not the car. But the car only moves when you want to make decisions, left, right, speeds up, slow down, based off of you because you're controlling it. But you are not the car. That's basically what a disconnect of reality is, if you don't know. And it can be scary as fuck, and it can actually last like a very long time, if not forever. And the dangers of it is like you can lose motivation because you can feel like, why the fuck would I do anything if I'm not me? You can go through your days and you can just kind of feel like every day is the same day and it's just mundane and it's extremely boring and life is boring. And sometimes boring is good. Sometimes you need to be bored because, boredom sparks creativity. But sometimes too much boredom is like you lose motivation and you can become lethargic and lazy, and then you just get kind of stuck in this endless loop of just, starting something new, getting midway through it, quitting, starting something new, getting midway through it, quitting. And then when you look back, you realize you haven't really fulfilled anything. You just kind of started a whole bunch of projects. And I'm not innocent of this. I've definitely started many projects in the beginning. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to do this. And then midway through, I'm like, this is like boring. Like, why am I doing this? And what I'm going to say is, you started a project for a reason. See it through to the end, like the end. And whatever that end is for you, I can't tell you what the end is, but if you have a goal, you should set a starting point and an end goal. And until you reach that end goal, never stop. Just keep on going. It could take weeks, days, months, fucking years, okay? You can start at 15, not end until you're 30. But as long as you complete your goal, that's what matters. Because, at the end of the day, we're all in this fucking long-ass marathon, okay? And we're not racing each other. Despite what social media and just life as a whole would want you to believe, we're not racing each other. Because we all fucking die in the end. Like, you may be able to elongate the process of life, but in the end, we all have to go. So, while you're here, do what the fuck makes you happy and be the best version of yourself as you can be. Whatever that means to you. Perhaps that means reading 5,000 books. Perhaps that means, participating in a triathlon. Perhaps that means getting to like the NFL, NBA, becoming an artist, a singer. It doesn't. You know what you want to do with your life, so go fucking do it. And I know people are like, I don't know what I want to do with your. No. You know that thought that keeps, buzzing around in your head every single day, but you just kind of push to the sideline. Stop pushing it away. Listen, look at that thought, analyze it, think about it. That's what you want to do. It's your gut, your consciousness is trying, your subconscious, is trying to tell you like, hey, we should do this. We really are passionate about this. We're really good at this. If we just took a couple years to practice, we could master our skill on this subject. That's really the hardest part, consistency. Because, and when you're having a good day, being consistent, it's easy as fuck. Because you're like, oh, it's rainbows and fucking lollipops. But it's those bad days you got to be consistent too. There's days I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? There's days I wake up, y'all, and I'm like, I'm just sitting in front of a camera talking to myself. No one really wants to, cares what I'm saying. These people don't give a fuck about me. But then I see that people do actually care. They care about what I have to say. They want to hear my opinions on topics that interest them, and that gives me motivation. And, you know, I've made a commitment and a promise to all of you that I would try to crank out a podcast every single day, which is hard because on some days I don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. But still, I have to be committed because I set a goal for myself. So in the end, just don't cheat yourself. Don't do any shortcuts that would fuck up the process. The process has to be good and bad. Lessons are to be learned on both sides of the spectrum. So don't take the easy way out, because eventually there's not gonna be an easy way out, and you're not gonna know what the fuck to do. Trust me. It's just like cheating on every test, you know. When you can cheat on a test, it's amazing. When you ain't got no one to cheat off of, what'd you learn? So just don't teach yourself. Next, dealing with heartbreak. Okay, this one right here. We gotta put the journal down for this, and I gotta really just talk to y'all. For those who have been fortunate enough to have never experienced a heartbreak, let me just try to describe it as best I can in detail. Getting your heart broken feels as if someone took a heated blade, inserted it promptly into your chest cavity, and twisted the blade. And the issue is, the blade never really comes out. And when it finally does come out, there's scar tissue all over that area. That's why most people are, once they get one heartbreak, they shut down. They put up all these walls, because heartbreak it's terrifying. Because to become truly heartbroken, you have to have had actual, like, legitimate trust for your partner or your friend or whatever the situation is. You 110% believe that this situation was going to work out, and it hit a complete 360 spin on you. That shit, it fucks with the psyche, because you start to doubt yourself. You start to ask why. That's the main thing. Why? Why was I not good enough? Why did I put myself in this situation? Why? And I'm just going to say this right now. You don't get over a heartbreak. You get through it, you know? You get through it. And it's not a fucking snap of the finger quick thing either. There's relationships that I've been in years ago that I am still trying to fully heal from. That's because when you were really passionate about a person and you really loved that person with the entirety of your soul, it's kind of hard to heal from that. And it takes a long time. So for all the people out there, don't feel weak for still having a soft spot for your ex, or still having love for someone that did you foul. Because the love you had for that person was real. Just as real as the fucked up situation that made y'all no longer, close. But in terms of aiding in a heartbreak, what I'm gonna say does not work. Do not, and I know me saying this, you're gonna be like, Jordan, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't think you can fuck the heartbreak out of you, because you can. Trust, look, if you're gonna trust anyone on this subject, trust me, you cannot fuck that heartbreak out of you. You can throw it on the back burner with sex and act like you don't care and become cold and numb, but them late nights when it's just you and you're crying and there's no one there to help you, you're gonna know that you didn't stop that heartbreak. You just delayed it. And if you're delaying a heartbreak, you're never gonna really get through it. The only way to get through a heartbreak is to fully embrace it and understand that what happened hurt. It hurt like hell. Now that you can acknowledge that it hurt like hell, there's a lesson to be learned from it. And I know, depending on how the relationship ended, you're like, what fucking lesson should I learn from this? This person cheated on me. This person did this to me. This person did that. This person just left me high and dry. They ghosted me. There's a lesson to be learned. And I can't be the one to say like which lesson it is, because only you can have to really think through and figure out what was wrong. But what I will say is, you have to forgive the situation, not the person, but the circumstance, for yourself. If you don't, you will dwell on it for years to come, and you will just never fully feel satisfied with yourself, ever. So, if you're going through heartbreak right now, feel like the well's in it, feel like you'll never find love again, you will. Eventually. No matter how impossible that sounds, eventually you're going to open up again. It's in human nature. We need it. A connection with another human. It's literally, it's in our genetic code. We need it. So you can take your time to heal. You know, be a little antisocial for a little bit. Don't talk to no one. Don't really get into dates. Guard your heart. Protect it. But eventually you're going to open up again. And you have to be willing to accept the possibility of getting hurt again. Because that's what true love is. It's accepting the good and the bad. If there was 110% guarantee that you would never get hurt, then that's not love. It's like a video game. You don't gain anything from that. It's not real. So, just guard your heart right now. Improve yourself. Work on a craft. Pick up a hobby. Keep pushing. That's all. Okay, next. College. As many of y'all know, I dropped out of college 3 months in. College was not for me. I thought it was for me, but the 7+ assignments due every single night at 11:59 that each had to be 5+ pages. It was just not it. I just didn't care. I just didn't give a fuck about college. It meant nothing to me. And I knew that what I wanted to do with my life did not need a college degree. I'm not saying not to say everyone should drop out of college. College is for some people. If your career path, listen. If you need college as a stepping stone to boost your career path, then endure that shit. Get through it. But that's if you truly believe you need it. And the thing is, if you know you need it, you're going to be willing to get through that shit. See, I didn't have a why for staying in college. I knew that people in my family probably wanted that, and that's what most young adults and, teenagers were supposed to do, but I didn't have a why that motivated me to get through it. So that's why I decided to step away from college. But if you have a why, no matter how hard it gets, you know you can get through that because you have a why. You have an end goal that college is like, college is just nothing more than a step. It's a stool to reach your end goal. But if you're in college right now and you feel like, fuck, I can't drop out, my parents are paying for everything I do, yada, 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 listen. At the end of the day, it is your life. And if you live your life based off of what you feel your parents would enjoy and or appreciate, you're going to live a pretty fucking depressed life. And also, you're going to have a large amount of resentment for those people at the end. Yeah, you might graduate. But once you graduate and then these promises that were supposed to get you through life never come into reality, and you're looking at your parents like, mom and dad, what the fuck? You told me if I got this degree, I'd get a job. Now I'm out here in my 20s looking for a fucking job that I don't want to go to. You're going to look back and be like, what if... See, it's just like this. Have no regrets in life. That's it. You want to take that leap of faith? That's because that's what I'm doing. It's a leap of faith. There's no guarantee I'm going to fucking be anything doing this shit. Not at all. I could be homeless under a fucking bridge in the next 5 years. I don't know. But that's the thing. I don't concern with that. I know what I want to do right now, and I'm doing that now because it's a want. It motivates me to do this. I want to do this. So as long as you have something that's motivating you to help you get through this shit, be that going to college or dropping out of college, then you're golden. Don't let anyone else in your life try to dictate how you live your life. If they wanted to live that life, they should have did it for themselves. Simple and plain. It's your time now. Have no fucking regrets. Final topic: overwhelming emotional responsibilities and toxic household. Okay, so many people when they ask me how old I am and I tell them I'm 19 years old, they think I'm lying. They think I'm in my early 20s or something like that, and that's usually because I am a very mature person. But that maturity did not come from age; it came from trauma and forced responsibility. When you're in a toxic household, you have to grow up fast. You have no choice. You don't get babied a lot, especially when you look older. You get treated older, and you have to act older. Have to. That's one thing I taught. When I was 13, I was looking like 16, 17 years old. I had no fucking choice but to grow up fast. Had to. So that's why there's a lot of things that young adults like to do that doesn't interest me, because I personally did that shit all when I was younger. I don't give a fuck about that. Going to parties, doing drugs, drinking. I don't care if I got that shit out my system when I was like 13, 14 years old. All out my system. So now I want to do shit that people probably deem boring. Stay in the house all the time. Kick it by myself. Play with my cat. Just boring, mundane adult shit. But that's fun for me because I had to grow up fast. So that's always kind of been what I had to do. I've always hung with people that are older than me. I've always soaked up knowledge and information from adults when I was not even a teenager. Hearing shit, how to weave with punches and stuff like that. That's what I got used to. And I feel like most people in toxic households had to grow up fast. And you have to understand, though it is fucked up that you didn't get to fully flourish as the child you were, there's no time to complain about that shit. And you should really just work towards getting enough for yourself to where when you're in your 30s, you can flourish and splurge like you were a little kid. And it won't hurt you or your family because you handle your responsibility. That's the thing. Handle your responsibilities now and relax later. Because if you want to relax now, you're going to have a shit ton of responsibilities later. So, and I know you're like, oh, here we go. This dude's a stick in the mud. I am. I'm square as fuck. I don't go to parties. I don't do shit like that. I'm a very law-abiding citizen. I'm square. And to me, ain't nothing wrong with that. I like being square. Boring. It's peaceful. And when you get older, you start to realize the only true commodity that matters is peace. Peace of mind, stability, just peace, just calm, That wild, reckless shit is fun when you're younger or when you don't know no better, but as you get older, you realize, this shit's, I don't care about this shit. Now, I'm not saying you can never have fun, but what I'm saying is you just tend to outgrow certain habits. It's part of life. And if you've already outgrown those habits, don't feel any type of way because everyone around you is like, oh, you're a stick in the mud. You're boring. There's nothing wrong with being boring. Some of the richest people in the world were boring, outcast people. But they got their shit done when they were young so they could sit back and relax while they're old. That's just that. So ask yourself what you want to do. You want to blow your 20s away going to parties? Or you want to grind for the next 10 years? And be 30 and live in a fucking mansion, okay, or an island, or whatever the fuck your fantasy place is. It's up to you. I can't make the choice for you. So, yeah. Peace.